Well, Dave, first you got Tony Gonsolin on the mound today. What led to the decision? Just why was he the right fit for today?
I think that, seeing how everything played out yesterday, keeping Tony in that starter role, let him take down a bulk of the game, and being able to sort of read and react on how the game goes, and accessing our bullpen.
With the bullpen, what's the status of it right now? I did see David Price is out here today. Good to see that he's feeling better.
Yeah, David's still on the. He's not on the active roster. He has passed the COVID protocol, so he can be around our ball club. The plan is to have him make his way out to Chicago, to Wrigley Field. I guess that's the one ballpark he hasn't been able to visit as a ball player, which is crazy. So that'll be good, and then we'll get him built up, and the timeline we'll see when he gets activated. As far as bullpen, Kimbrel will be down. Outside of that, I think everyone else will be available.
Are you good on length, or is there a chance that you keep Anderson back in the bullpen just in case for today?
No, Anderson will be ready for this Friday.
How's Mitch White doing?
I think right now he's still kind of in that 10-day window where he's got to be isolated.
Dave, what do you see with Max? Max hit the ball pretty hard last night a couple times.
I think he's starting to come around. It's not really, hasn't shown itself. I think that there's obviously a lot of talk about hitters not getting rewarded for good quality contact. I think it's real. So I think that kind of the internal struggle is to keep going when you're not getting the results. There's been some good at bats, some solid contact. He's still taking walks, and so I still like the quality of the bat. So it's easy to bet that there's going to be a lot of positive results coming.
What do you attribute the ball maybe not carrying as well to? Is it the baseball? Is it the humidor? Like, what do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly the humidor has something to do with it. Just talking to players, I think the ball's softer. There's some raised seams. I think they're a little bit higher, so that creates more drag. So I think all-encompassing, the ball's just not flying as far.
Has it at least been consistent to this point?
I think so. I think so. I think so. I think that it's just hitters are not getting rewarded, but I think that as far as kind of the results, I think that's consistent around baseball, which I think that's a good thing.
Is that a thing where hitters are going to have to adapt? Is it? Do you feel like as the weather warms up, maybe it starts to change a little bit? Like, what do you think the next steps are?
I do think that the results will be different as it gets warmer. The ball will start to carry more. That's hitter to hitter, and I think that for me as a hitter, I would adapt and try to hit the ball more on the line, knowing that you can hit a ball 103 miles an hour at a ideal optimum trajectory and not get rewarded. So something's got to change if the ball's not going to change, and the humidor is a humidor. So yeah, you're still trying to be productive offensively.
What does it tell you about Max that while he doesn't have a lot of hits, he's with 17 walks to this point and still taking good at-bats even with the results not there?
Well, it tells me that he's a smart baseball player, because you look at the scoreboard and you see a one handle, it's very disheartening. But he understands the value of still taking a good at bat, getting on base, passing the baton, and knowing that when he's in the lineup, he's still a threat. So it just speaks to his baseball acumen.
Dave, what was the conversation with you and the home plate umpire last night when Alvarez was on the mound?
No, I just wanted clarity because as the rule's written, you can't take signs when you're not engaged to the rubber. And so their guy Alvarez was. And so there was just an amendment that was put in at the beginning of this year with the new communication from the catcher to the pitcher. So I just wanted clarity.
Do you feel like you guys discovered another layer to your home field advantage? Because this place gets pretty loud, especially in games like last night. And do you feel like it's going to be home field advantage for you guys where pitchers will not be able to hear what's going on?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's why it's certainly an advantage, but it just makes it not as much of an advantage if they don't have to be engaged to the rubber. Because if you're on the rubber and you can't hear it, you can't understand it, then there might be a chance to throw a different pitch because you don't hear it well, or a potential balk. But if you're off the rubber, then it's not as much advantageous, but it certainly makes it more confusing.
And the rule is they can be off the rubber
Do
now.
you think it gives more pause to opposing managers, especially when you get closer to October and the games are?
I think so.
Intense?
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, they'll dig into that. But yeah, when it gets loud, it gets confusing, certainly for pitchers. Yeah.
And the rule is like a pitcher can be off the rubber now to take the sign.
Yeah.
Dave, what's going on with Justin Turner? He was obviously kind of struggling at the plate.
I wish I had an answer. I know that he's obviously off to a slow start. I do know that he's preparing like he always has. He's putting in the work. I think there's been some hard contact in there. There hasn't been the walk in there, which is really kind of not what he normally does as far as the on base. There's a little expanding in there. There's a little bit of when you're getting pitches that you should handle, you're missing. But he's a pro, man. I'm going to keep running him out there.
From your conversations with him, is he pressing? Does he feel like he's close? Like, kind of where is he right now?
I wouldn't say he feels he's close. And I wouldn't say he's pressing. I would say he is frustrated and determined to figure it out.
Dave, you moved into the 6th spot yesterday. Is that just sort of where you plan on keeping him until he starts to turn things around a little bit?
Yeah. I think that sometimes with a player, just to give him a different look is helpful. And so obviously I'm going to keep running him out there, and just a different look is, sometimes could spark something, and you get another guy who's swinging the bat well and just change it up a little bit.
Will kind of took over. The automatic thought is, he's 37 and Father Time catches up to everybody, but he does have that leg kick. Do you feel like it's harder for a player with that leg kick to get back on sync?
It is harder with a guy when he's not feeling well that has a leg kick to sync back up. Yes, that's what he's done for quite some time and had success. I just know that it just doesn't fall that quickly. And obviously, the first thing people will point to is age. And when a player's not doing well and he's up there in age, that's the first look. But I think there's more to it. And I know that there's some things he's going to tinker with to figure it out, but I don't see him abandoning the leg kick.
Dave, from day in, day out, you like where the team is right now?
Day in, day out, I do like where we're at. I think the intent every day to come out and win a ball game, regardless of opponent, is most important. We just haven't played consistently high caliber baseball, but we've done enough to win, which is most important. But yeah, we're going to be fine.
Dave, Will Smith has kind of gotten those at-bats that had been going to Justin in the number 4 spot, and he, almost as much as Max, is getting victimized by these fly balls that aren't home runs anymore. What do you like about Will in that spot in the order?
I think with Will, what I love is he still, he'll take a walk. When we need to move the ball forward, he can do that. He has the ability to check down and hit a ball the other way. So I think that, when you're not swinging the bat really well, individually, collectively, you have to be able to use the other side of the field. And Will is as good at that as anyone, on our club.
Is he as unflappable as he sounds to us?
He is. And I think that, there's been some victim of bad luck, but he doesn't change his approach, and there's no panic, and very unflappable. And that's why I think for a manager, the more players you can trust and that are dependable, you feel much better running them out there.
Is there any level of surprise that we're about 20 or so games into the season, so many of these guys are still trying to get their feet underneath them offensively, or is that just sort of a byproduct of spring?
I honestly think it's a byproduct of the humidor and the balls. I really do. It is what it is. We can't change it. Everyone in baseball is going through it, so it's not that. I just think that it's across baseball that, specifically to our guys, I can easily name a dozen homers for guys in our club. That would have been homers that we'd be looking and saying our guys are not off to such a bad start. But when they resulted in an F7 or an F8, yeah, it's the results aren't there. But I think that, but again, our guys aren't making excuses, which I appreciate, and we're still winning more than we lose, and we got to keep going.
Have you guys reached a point where you have to tell them to take more of a line drive approach?
I think that they're figuring out themselves. I think they're in talks, and with the player, it's just hard to kind of recalibrate, that quickly sometimes. But they understand it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.